Okay, here we are for Planetary Encomiums, June 19th, and a very, very special, ambitious, energetic time in our year here. We just had the new moon. We're going into the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. Oh, yeah, in the winter solstice, right? Okay, so you're having your longest night and shortest day, and we're having our longest day and shortest night. Okay, that's happening. Let me see. I have Saturn's about to go retrograde. We'll talk a little bit about that. But first of all, I'll introduce myself. My name is Ray Ellen Sievert. I have been studying astrology for a very long time, which makes me kind of ancient. Almost 50 years, and probably more than that. I have to say, maybe even 60 years if you count that I was interested in the planets as soon as second grade. I've always been interested in the stars. So I think that it's been part of my nature since I've been born. I was fortunate to have a father that, and he can't remember this. This was the interesting thing. I mean, my father is no longer with me, but he couldn't remember when I told him that he was the one that showed me he used to take me out and show me the Sputnik. That was in the 50s. Can you believe that? I mean, that takes me back really far. We saw the very first Sputnik. He thought that was really interesting. And, I think we saw the first man go into space. I think they even brought a television into one of our classrooms so we could watch this. I mean, it was such a big thing. I think I was around when they put the dog in space. And from what I understand, they just put a cat in space and a monkey in space and all that. Well, I was around for all that original during that time period. Hello, Dustin. I think Dustin just came. If I'm pronouncing your name right, I'm hoping so. So anyway, so that said, studying the stars and looking up at the stars and studying the planets has been a passion all my life. And it hasn't ever gone away. It's not like something that just, happened to me. And I've been obsessed with knowing the meaning of life since I've been very young. And so when the planets have a particular combination, a geometric shape in going around our sun in our heliosphere or our solar system, heliosphere and solar system are the same thing. It gives us an insight to what is happening around us. And I'll go over the planets a little bit, but when we are born in our particular biosuit, where we are on the planet at the time of our birth, when we take our first breath, we get an energetic pattern that puts an imprint on our physical body. And from what I understand, we choose this moment in time. And because of, you can go past life, lineages, why we're here, what lessons we have to learn, but what our gifts are going to be. All of that is going to happen when we take our first breath. So not everybody, many people want a very favorable astrology chart. In fact, I just, somebody wanted me to do their chart, and they said that they were excited because they had all grand trines in their chart. And then they're dating somebody that have squares in their chart. Well, squares indicate challenges and inner struggles, and trines have to do with ease. But I've often find that unless you have those squares and oppositions in your chart, you're very lazy because you have all these gifts and you have no impulse to use them. You just keep them to yourself. So you have to have challenging aspects. In fact, some of the most challenging aspects in the challenging times will birth the greatest people because they have had to overcome all kinds of adversity. So that's a little bit about astrology. Now, I am taking astrology to a different level We're going to look at the planets today, but we're also going to look at what our heliosphere is doing, our Earth is doing in the greater scheme of things. So last month I introduced that we were going into a 2-year stargate with the star system of Sirius. So I've been thinking about that, and I'm going to get into solstice and all that, but I've been thinking about that. What does that mean? I mean, we're going into a stargate. I mean, it's kind of like ambiguous, sounds exciting and exotic, but is it? And what does it really mean in our everyday lives? So the Syrian Stargate, it's kind of like, it's a portal to the system of Sirius. And Sirius has been an important star in our human heritage, going back to the times of the Egyptian and back even farther than that. And but Barbara Hand Clow goes in and talks about the dimensions, and the Syrian dimension is the 6th dimension, which has to do with, remember I told you that we have an impress in our body at the time of our birth. It's kind of like a pattern. Well, the Syrian energy in the human genome has to do with our blueprint, our human blueprint. The Syrians, from what I understand, are masters of sacred geometry, and they use light and sound and create form. And they helped the human race, our human as we develop, have particular patterns so that we can develop into conscious beings, going from animal man to conscious, spiritualized humans that walk around the planet, which is what's happening right now. You think that we already are that, but actually, if you look around the planet right now, you can see that many people haven't achieved that level of consciousness yet, because there's a lot going on that is not aligned with the Pachamama, okay, so to speak. So, Destin, read to everyone. Does it help if we give our birth date? Well, not in this particular thing right now. We're going to be talking pretty general about what's happening right now. So, I mean, if you want a individual reading, that would be really good for that. And I do that through Light Body. I mean, you can sign up for that. But anyway, so when this particular Stargate was activated last month, the human race as a whole has the opportunity to consciously look at how their biosuits have been programmed. When we are birthed, our biosuit is already programmed. We have a lineage from our mother, a lineage from our father, and then we have lineages also from various star systems and star elders. I mean, we have all of that. We have actually everything in the cosmos, all in this physical body. And we resonate to that at different times. So humanity as a whole, the Stargate that's opening up, we have an opportunity now to look at all of our patterns within ourselves. And maybe even, and this is going to be activated also by the Saturn, which I'm going to get into. But we have an opportunity the next 2 years at anything that you wish to change in your patterns, in the way you navigate on the planet. You have an opportunity to take action and change that, so that you can birth yourself to the higher dimensions that are coming in on the planet. Okay, so so a Stargate has to do with an acceleration of a particular energy coming in on the planet, and it will activate stuff in our biosuit. It will activate programs in our biosuits. Some of them will be positive and some of them won't be positive. And the ones that are not so positive, the ones that you want to change, you have an opportunity to look at that with, maybe people around you and change all that. So I hope I'm making sense at this point. Does anybody have any questions about what I'm talking about so far? Okay. So this week, we had a new moon. And we also are going into the summer solstice, which is an intensification of energy on the planet. It means that in the northern hemisphere, we are taking in we have the most light coming into our body, and we're preparing to take that light into ourselves. So we are changing from being aware, going deeper inside of ourselves to go internal all the way to the winter solstice. And in the opposite way, down in the southern hemisphere, you are preparing to take more light into your body. You're opening up to the days growing longer so that you can take in more light. So you are the most internal that you will be all year around. And we are the most external of what we have learned. So that's what the switch is all about. But that said, every year at this time, we align with the pole star Polaris. Okay, now Polaris, our Earth rotates on an axis like this, and it's slanted. We're on a tilt. And right through our Earth is an invisible string that points to a particular star. And when we point to that pole star, it takes through the precession of the equinoxes, it changes pole stars over a period of time. It takes 26,000 years. Now, this is getting a little complicated, but I'm going to get to exactly what this is meaning. So over various times, we are pointing to Polaris right now, and Polaris is in the constellation of Gemini. So for mass humanity right now, as we speak, as where our solar system is in this time, we are directly aligned with Polaris. So we have the capacity to look at our dualistic nature within ourselves. What do we want on a personal level? And what do we want on a soul level? So that is an energy that is coming in this week, very loud and clear. And I don't know if any of you have been experiencing that, but that is an intensification of energy that's coming in right now. So any of you that are on the path of your spiritual quest, spiritualizing your human body and your programs, if you notice, there's always a dilemma of what choice you're going to make. Are you going to go to what everybody else is doing and what the programs are and what's going on in the world around you? Or are you going to go to this next level of making choices what's better for you and the planet that's coming in, birthing the planet into place? This sounds kind of complicated, so maybe I'll ask for some questions right now. If anybody would like to ask something. Well, anyway, go ahead.
Ray Ellen, this
Yes.
is Tammy. Can you hear me okay? Okay.
I can.
I just want to, when you talked about the internal and external and over here, I'm thinking you said that because this is June in Kansas, on this side in North America, we're more external here right now.
Yes, we are the most external as we will. You
Okay.
know, we're summer is a time where you want to play and have fun, you know? I mean, you don't really want to work on yourself, you know? When you go to winter time, you want to go and maybe meditate and go within yourself, you know?
So what
But
does it mean? This is my question because I'm feeling more and more of being that internal.
okay, that's what I'm trying. Okay. So that is a good sign because what you're doing is you're making a choice of the average humanity wants to go out and play at this particular time where you are
Mm.
looking at a lot of your patterns and you're deciding to go internal at this time. So you are trying to reverse the tides within your line of least resistance to go to patterns that will better serve you in the future.
Mm. Thank you.
So that said, aligning with Polaris right now and also going into the summer solstice and the new moon. New moon is all about new beginnings. Now, the reason I also went into this aligning with Polaris is this particular new moon is exactly conjunct the Polarian energy, the Polaris energy. So it's actually intensifying our need to find out what our authenticity is. But this new moon also is in relationship to the planet of Neptune, and Neptune often blinds us to what we really want. But so that said, we have an opportunity at this time to go deep inside of ourselves with our intuitive nature. That's the only way we are going to get answers at this particular time. So our intuition is really important this time. And Saturn in the sign of Pisces just went retrograde yesterday. Now, what does retrograde motion? We talked about retrograde motion with Mercury retrograde. Retrograde motion it's like an apparent backward motion. It looks like the planet is going backwards. And the way it goes, okay, Mercury's going around the sun. We have Venus going around the sun. We have the Earth going around the sun. So as the Earth is at this position and Saturn is at this position, because we are closer to the sun, it looks like Saturn is going backwards, but it's really not. It just means the Earth is going ahead faster than Saturn is. So Saturn retrograde in Pisces as of yesterday is giving us the opportunity to define and develop discipline to get in touch with our intuitive qualities, but also our delusions and our blind spots and our programs of deceit. So from now all the way until November, and actually all the way until next February, is an opportune time to develop our intuition, to dive into to discipline ourselves to go into a meditative nature. If you are going to meditate at any time, this is the time you should start that discipline to go inside of yourself. Because Saturn is in Pisces, which is the sign of meditation. And it's also a time to embrace your intuition. So oftentimes when we have intuitive inclinations, we want to discard them because it doesn't make sense to us. So now is the time to actually discipline ourselves to embrace that intuition. So how Tammy says, how do we suggest to grow our intuition? Okay. Are you ever doing something with your family and all of a sudden something tells you that you should come out and say something? Or if you're in a group, you have an intuition about a particular feeling, but you don't want to express that. Oftentimes, it's best to bring that forward to see what other people's response would be to that. So you're having an intuition, and we have been taught by the programs within us not to follow our intuitive feelings within ourselves. So this is a perfect time to start putting a plan together. And every time you have an intuitive thought, either write it down or take action on it and see where it leads you. Go on, Gina.
Yeah, I have a tool that's been working for me, speaking to everyone and Tammy Lee. What I want to say is we all have intuition, which is what you've just been speaking of, and there'll be certain areas where it's essentially heightened and that we do pay attention to it. And that could be, you know, being a mother or a businesswoman or a person that cares for horses. There'll be something there that you listen to that intuition in that field, because that's where your antennas are used to growing and feeling and and relating to. And then when I set the intention to, okay, I want to increase my intuition, which is what you're saying, then pay attention to where it comes from. And for me, the funniest one was I was walking down the shopping aisle and I went past the baked bean tin section and I felt my intuition, felt me wanting to buy 4 tins of baked beans. And my logical brain went, no, that's silly because I've got tins at home. And I didn't get it. And when I got home, the whole family had eaten all the baked beans. So it's just a muscle, and you set the intention to
Yes.
expand your intuition beyond your normal fields of receptivity, and it will respond.
And it's very, until you develop that muscle, it's really uncomfortable because you keep doubting yourself. There's a doubt that comes up where you'll say, oh my God, you know, maybe people are going to think I'm crazy, or, you know, this doesn't make sense. There is no logic, but something is impelling you to make a decision about something. And this, from now until February, if you were going to put any plan together, so astrologically, it is time for right, because Saturn has to do with discipline. It has to do with not discipline. It is discipline. It's taking action to increase your oh God, what is the word? Oh God, it escaped me. Authenticity. It's not even that. It's accountability.
Yeah.
Accountability. That's Saturn. Saturn is, but it's putting a program together. And as much as we're getting away from old programs, this Polaris energy that's coming in, what we're doing is programs that have been in place, that have been mechanistic over eons, have passed down from our mothers to our grandparents, to our great grandparents, through governments, through all of this. This is old paradigm. So right now you're using your intuition to develop new paradigm, the paradigm shift that we are going into. And the only way we can do that is take the risk of following what your heart is telling you. And one way to do that would be set up a program. I mean, we're talking about it now. Like, I think last time I told you that we were entering the Syrian Stargate, and write down what you want to be in 2 years from now, whether you think that you can be that or not, and see what happens in the next 2 years. And I mean, write a letter to yourself and see what manifests. because you can't even comprehend where you're going right now, but your intuition is taking you somewhere. And this is what we have to embrace at that time. So, Laura, you were going to say something?
Well, before I was saying something about the intuition. I feel like it's like for me, a lot of time I know there is something that pushing me in a certain way. And then like Gina said, sometimes you just kind of bypass it and you say no. Instead, if we start, kind of listening to it, then it'll be, easier and easier to just go with that flow. But also, you're saying, to put a really to make a decision of what you want, in the Stargate. And I feel like the Stargate, it's been really a portal to me lately.
Yes, it
I don't
is.
know. It's been like really bringing me. I don't know. I feel like it's just is bringing me gifts, or it's opening some dormant spaces within me. And I feel like I'm not really knowing what it is, so I can't really say this is what I want to be, but I feel like I'm just, I'm just guided to go with it in certain places, and it feels like very expansive. And at time, at the time is just like he brings me to just have to rest or just have to wait. And I really hear, to just be still, just wait, don't do anything. And if I do, then I get knocked out, which happened last Sunday. I was just like out all day long, and I just couldn't eat, and I was nauseous, and I had to be in bed all day. And I was okay, because I felt like there was a reset there. And then on Monday and Tuesday, there was all this, almost like an activation coming in, and just a journey in that Stargate. And it was just like incredible. But I feel like it's a step by step, without really knowing yet where I am really going. I mean,
Well,
I know I want the spaciousness, the peace, and the harmony, and and I feel it in the family, and I feel it with the people around me, the way I don't react anymore, or, many different things. But like to just say, well, this is what I want to be. I'm not sure. So I just kind of go
well,
with.
you do know that there are programs that you have in your biosuit, things that you have inherited that you would like to transform in some way or another.
Yeah, and that's an everyday thing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, all of us have that. Now is the time to meditate on what is the mechanism behind that, so that we can either work together as a group to, a lot of us are in the group and we do group work together, because sometimes people in the group can see things that we can't. We have blind spots. So now is the time to either develop a group of people that help you do that, but now it's time to go into intense meditation. And that doesn't mean you have, however that meditation is just closing your eyes, or as we talked about it in our meditation class last week, whether you do Qigong or whether you do Tai Chi. Everybody has their form of meditation, a way to go, whether it's going off into the wooded area and being by yourself, but it's a time where you can go internal within yourself. This is a real important decision to make at this time. And well, it's not an important decision. It's an opportune time to take advantage, to discipline yourself, to trust what's that deep inner knowing within yourself that can take you to a different place, that can help you expand in a new way. Because anything from the past repetition of doing something over and over and over again is not the way to do it now, because we are in a river right now where we're walking, and the river changes in every moment. And we are in this river of life right now where it's changing every moment. It's living energy. It's living life energy. And in order to do that, you have to know which rock to step in the river, which one not to, so you don't get swept away by it. So you can consciously step and walk through the river without being washed away, but also having it flow through you in a way that you get new insight.
No, goodbye. Spanish English.
Are you talking,
Oh,
Destiny?
I'm sorry. Yes, yes, I would like to speak. I didn't know if somebody else.
Okay,
I didn't know it, but it popped on by itself, so I apologize. If I
okay.
was cutting anybody off, I apologize. I just want to be over the same old thing, the same old where it's okay to feel like I'm tired of mean people. I'm tired of mean places. I'm tired of mean this and that. And I just want peace, you know? Like I've been dealing with spiritual stuff for a while and it's just the same old stuff and I don't want it anymore.
Well, that's a good thing. So you, this is an ideal time to either work with a group of people or go inside of yourself and see why that you are a magnet for that particular energy pattern.
Hmm.
So you don't want that, but the only way to change that is to find out what draws that to you.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is probably, I mean, that's why what the Aquarian age is all about is group consciousness. We have to work with each other. You have to work with another person. It's really, really important because you can't see your blind spots. And you have to be willing to accept the truth about yourself. Truth is very important right now because as we are aligned with the pole star, we're also in opposition to the galactic center. And the galactic center is ultimate truth right now. And we are aligning with our soul authenticity, but getting absolute truth so that we can take what is the galactic center? It's a black hole. And what happens when you go through a black hole? Black hole is like it takes in all kinds of light. But what does it do? It discombobulates everything, and outside is a white hole, which means it takes everything apart. You go through the other side and you're something new. So that's exactly what we're doing. That's aligning with the galactic center, is actually discombobulating everything that we knew, reformulating it, putting a new plan together and creating something that is absolutely new. And we can't even know what that is. And the only way we can take action on that is to take one step at a time. So you follow your intuition, it leads you here. Then something else opens up. You take another step and it leads you here. But astrologically, when I talk about planetary encodements, I think about what I'm going to say and what we can actually utilize and take action within our everyday lives. Something that is doable. So I'm giving you information as to do this. And if you don't do it tomorrow, I mean, maybe you'll do it next week. But right now, the new moon's always a good time to start something new. We have the most amount of light so we can see what we're doing. That's the solstice. We're aligning with Polaris. It's giving us a choice of, do we want to go to old patterns or do we want to create something new? Saturn, we're having the new moon that was squaring Neptune. We must follow our intuition and not know where we're going. We have to, it's kind of like we're walking through a maze and we're just trusting that we're going to get through to the other side. And that's the only way that we are going to create something new right now. Now, the saving grace can be Saturn because you can actually put a plan together and maybe like every time I do this, which I want to change in my life, I will do this to counteract that. Whether you pay yourself a quarter or whether you talk to somebody, like when I, do, it's putting, what you're doing is you're putting a plan together so that you can develop your intuitive nature and help people expand that within you. Sherry, I'm gonna call on you. I'm gonna put you on the spot because you always had the best where you're at with it. It always helps me.
Okay, what am I gonna?
No, I'm not asking what you're gonna do, but I'm just asking how are you responding to this?
I feel like I'm in that where I'm
You're in
going
it?
in. Yeah, I do feel like that's where I'm at, and I'm choosing, like I heard Tammy say, to go in. And
Good.
I'm finding that to be a natural thing right now.
Well, it is natural, and this is what we all have to embrace. And this new moon kind of like was the epitome of putting it up in your face of like, if you're not already doing that, there's a part of your life where you feel very uncomfortable, but that you have to change. Whether you have to say something to somebody, whether there's a choice point of something that you have to do, but you just have to open up within your heart center self and find out where you're going with that. And you may not know tomorrow or today, but you have to putting the intention out there is the way to go for it. Now I'm going to put I'm going to put Destin. I'm pronouncing your name right, Destin. Okay.
Ray, whenever you can, I do have a question, but whenever you
Oh,
can.
who is that?
This is Jackie.
Jackie. I would, if
Mhm.
Destin, she still had her speaker on, I wanted her to turn it off.
I think
Okay, Jackie, go in.
just real fast. I still, I mean, intuitively, I feel what you're saying and I feel it. I feel this about the old, leaving the old and the established and going to the new. But when I have looked into this Polaris astrological alignment, it's nowhere. And I've searched the internet, and so could you explain how is it that we're aligned to Polaris when we have Polaris has always been to our not always, but the last couple of years has been to our north.
Okay.
So what has changed?
Your question is you can't find anything about aligning with Polaris?
Yes, that's part of
Okay.
it.
Okay. And then I'm not going to say your name right. Felicia. Okay, I'll answer your question in a minute. Okay. The Earth is on a tilt. I don't know. There's various. I have no idea how we got that way. I can't even proclaim to know. I mean, I'm sure there's some intuitives that know that, but I don't know. We got knocked on a tilt, and there's a thing called the precession of the equinoxes. So that pole that goes through the center of the Earth, the invisible pole, right now is pointing to a star in the sky called Polaris. So that's the North Star. Okay. Yes. But we are not always aligned with the same star because as we are spinning, we're in a wobble. Okay. And to do this wobble, it's kind of like the line makes a cone and it points to various pole stars over thousands of years.
23,000 years or something like that.
26,000 years. So 26,000 years we were aligned with Polaris. 12,000 years ago we were aligned with Vega. 3,000 years ago we were aligned with Thuban, which was in Draco. I'm not sure which the next pole star is, but That said, when we align with a pole star, humanity as a whole is being imbued to develop a particular principle within their authenticity and their organic self. So that said, as we align with our pole star, and we have been aligning with it ever since probably 3000 BC, the last 5,000 years, okay? But it's really close. We will be exactly aligned with this pole star in 2102. Okay.
Okay.
So that said, we are in the very last legs in developing this principle that humanity is going through right now. And that particular principle is the battle of our duality, the personality, which is not spiritually oriented. Personality has their likes and dislikes about this or that. And if you think about 12,000 years ago, there was some kind of cataclysm, and apparently we were in a high state of being. And from that point on, we started losing our consciousness. Okay. And now we are waking up to a deeper part of ourselves. We are waking up to our soul centered personality. That means that we can still have a personality. We can still have our likes and dislikes, but we're doing it from our truth and our authenticity, and we're doing it in a way that is in harmony with the Pachamama. We're doing it in harmony with the cosmos as we know it. So that is aligning with the Polaris. But humanity as a whole, because all of the earth is aligning with this, and it takes long periods of times for things to change. All of humanity has an opportunity to do this right now. Now, that said, in 2020, my 2020 was an important year because the whole world was shut down for saying that there was COVID, okay, planetary, there was COVID all over the planet. But during that shutdown, a lot of people got to go inside of themselves and determine if they want to follow the status quo and do certain things, or if they want to follow their heart and go in this direction. So I think it was the beginning of the end of people really embracing their heart consciousness, their soul-centered self, their highest spiritual destiny, their creator being within themselves. Does that answer your question, Jackie?
Yes, thank you. I know where you're coming from now. I understand better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry. You
Felicia.
again, Felicia.
Hi. Um, I'm wondering if what I'm going to say will harmonize with what you've been saying. I've been waking up to the fact that I have been an angry person for a long, long time. I had no idea. No, I didn't. I thought everything was I also am realizing that there is so much beauty in people. I didn't really see people as handsome or attractive. I saw a lot of flaws, and I didn't really realize that I was doing that. But I have now become a lot more compassionate with myself because I realized that the world that I was living in was really hard. It's hard on me. It was hard. I was being hard on other people. And so the word gentle has become my mantra. And okay, I'm going to do it, but could I do it more gently? Could I just be a little more gentle in my approach on that? Could I see that? Could I feel that more gently? Could I take it in more gently? And I'm quite surprised at how my health is improving because I've got more room with this attitude. I think before, I beat myself up and I beat everybody else up. I had so many unrealistic expectations. And I'm a writer, but I haven't been able to finish this book that I'm writing on. And I think it's a really important book, right? Oh my God. And so I'm noticing that by having that attitude of gentle, I realize that gentle is an invitational energy.
Yes.
Yeah. It invites people and circumstances and new methods and new perspectives and so it's a much more gentle adjustment to correction or to adjustment. Yeah, it's just.
Have you noticed this change mostly in the last 2 years or 3 years?
Oh no, I nearly died about 3 months ago. And
Oh, so it's all happened since then.
well, no, I was a bitch before then. I mean, I used to listen to myself and I always thought of I thought that I was an authority on things. I also realized that I was very afraid all the time. And recently, I find myself saying when people say, oh, well, this politician's doing that and these people are I said, I don't care. What do you mean you don't care? I don't care. God created this whole thing. Everything's working out fine. Everyone's doing what they're supposed to do. I'm not finding fault with anyone. If they're a fuck up, that's what they came here to do, right? I don't care. Let them do it. Just let them do it. I am not going to try to stop or rearrange anybody else's plan for their life. I'm just finding it very interesting watching them do their stuff. And I think it's gentle that's allowing me to feel this way. Because when I say I don't care, I really don't care. I don't care how people are acting or what they're doing. And
Because you are embracing yourself and you're being compassionate to yourself. And this is what it's all about. You are embracing your truth and you're seeing your truth. You are seeing the truth of how you were and how you want to be. So that's all that this is all about.
Well, it also, I've been a person that has been really traumatized, really hurt, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and sexually hurt. And I feel that I'm pretty much an authority for getting tromped on. So the idea for me to adjust it to gentle rather than warding off any potential disasters. The fact that I don't care if I have a disaster, I'm going to be looking after it gently. I've decided, right?
That's very good. So yes, I think you're right on track with it, what everyone's doing.
Thank you.
And I would probably guarantee it was probably the eclipse energy that came in, and this new Stargate. I mean, people are just waking up here and there all the way. I mean, and I feel like you're waking up, and all of us are. So,
Ray Ellen, it's Gina.
yes, Gina.
So in trying to, I was having my own experiences with when you talk about programs. It was interesting you were talking about rivers, and then just also touching on Felicia's. It does take a lot of energy, as you said, to hold stories and our belief systems and energetic perceptions of things. It takes an incredible amount of energy to hold those in place. And then when we focus on something else, like the gentle, it actually draws that energy into our fields, and we're less participating in the other energy. But I had a picture which I felt it keeps coming up. So may I share it?
Yes, in fact, I'm trying to find you. There you are. There you are.
Waving my hands around, talking with my hands like I usually do.
Okay.
Okay, I see if I.
I'm not sure how to do this. Where?
Oh no, I'm not. I'm a picture in my head. You don't have to. Call me up.
Okay.
Okay, so, and this came to me some time ago when I noticed that choices were coming up, and intuition was a big part, and also speaking our truth. And this was shown to me so that I could actually make even better decisions. So and just see how this sits for everyone. If you imagine that you've got a water skier on a very clear, let's say, lake, and the boat is your soul. The boat now has a line directly to you, and you are the water skier, and that is the aspect that is you. Is Sherry, is Gina, is Joe, is Ray Ellen. And then beneath you, you look beneath you, and you can actually see very, very clearly. Now, it's all the programs. So they're rivers or patterns or whatever. If you're a person that feels, it'll have a sensorial feel, but they're programs that are washing and streaming beneath your feet. Now, this is the amazing thing is we now have a greater ability to see clearer and more perception, that we can look down and go, oh, that's a program. So let's say somebody does you a bad turn, I'm just making this up, and you can see that your response, you look beneath you, and your response is you want to respond in a particular way, and you can see getting, like Felicia was saying, the choices is like, oh, I choose to do this, and I'm no longer attached to it. So that's the difference. When it's streaming beneath you and you're the water skier, many times we have decided to drop into it. And we're now in that story, in that program. And we're swimming around, and our water skier is here. I don't like to do above and below, but it's the best I can do. And we're still attached to our beautiful soul boat that's journeying forward. And so then look at the Stargate. I'm just now back on my water skis again. So I'm on my little aspect behind my soul, which has a direction and a purpose. And I'm always linked to that. Now, the Stargate energy looked to me like, the best way I can describe it was a big aperture and a fan of pulsing energy coming out of it. So in times before, it would be like a breath of wind just blowing like that. Now it's streaming through. So there's all these codes that are blowing past us. I've got my hair out, my thing, streaming past us. And we now have access to that, which makes our opportunity to make clearer choices as we're looking below and go, oh, that's how I used to react. I can choose to drop into that. Or I stay on my skis and just observe it. And the non-attachment actually brings so much energy back to you as the skier that you're now even more, the connection between your soul boat is that much more, you're more aware of it. And then the Polaris, what it was showing was, is the magnetism. So
Yes.
It's the magnetism of because that river, that lake is actually quantum field streaming past us, right? But I have to use the water as an analogy. And the Polaris is the magnetism of, your soul and you as an aspect, and you've got many aspects, can go anywhere. But the magnetism of Polaris now coming in as a consciousness is that directive opportunity, because I'm not going to say it's a force, but it's a directive opportunity that we're now, as humanity and our little soul boats, or massive soul boats, and our little aspect, Gina and Joe and Sherry and Rayella and everyone else, Lara, we're all in it gravitates to that, and therefore adds in that opportunity. like I'm looking at is, oh, and the other thing I wanted to say is often when our ancestral stuff came up, because stuff came up for me, it was like you're skiing along and this big iceberg just comes up out of the water, let's call it water, and you're actually heading straight for it. And then you go through it because it's an energetic thing. But the more we divest ourselves and shift and alchemize our attachments to those stories and beliefs and things of who we think we are, then that iceberg, it dematerializes that energy. You just pass through it and it no longer sticks as much. But it is a gift because it sticks to us and we go, oh, God, that stung. And where did it land? And then you have the opportunity to divest yourself of that. And then you're continuing on. And it's just like, boom. And I see them come up now. It's like, oh, there's one. And I actually deliberately ski into them at times energetically so that I can shift them. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Well, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Can I say something? I feel
Yes.
like in this whole skiing thing, there is the fact that before we were right in it. So we didn't see a lot of it. Like we were right in it under the water. So we were
Yes, that's
skiing
it.
under.
Yes, exactly.
So we were not really seeing what was going on. And now we're like, we can actually
Mhm.
see it and we can choose to just keep going, or we can choose to still stick with it. But we most of the time, but now we can choose to say, okay,
It's
we
all
allow
about choosing. It's all about choosing right
our
now because
energy, we let
Yeah.
go and we just keep going. So that's the choice, I feel.
And
that-
it's helpful to see them as programs streaming beneath you because you know it's like, oh, I was in that again. Oh, that's right. There I was doing that. Okay, get back on my skis and keep skiing.
Mhm.
well, I think that's it because there's just so much going on. That's what I mean. There is so much happening right now. We have a Stargate. We're aligning with Polaris. We're aligning with the Galactic Center. We're in the photon belt. There's just so much happening, but we are in critical mass right now because we are ready to open up to our authenticity, our truth, our compassion, our love, all of that right now. So today we're going to do just a short meditation and we're just going to close our eyes for a minute and center within ourselves. And
I
this is
think
just going to be,
Brittany
Go
had a
on.
hand. I thought.
oh, Brittany did? I'm sorry. I didn't see Brittany.
I thought so.
Brittany, did you have your hand up? She's on mute. I'm not sure who Brittany is.
Sorry, Ray. It looked like a hand, but that's okay. My mistake. I might have been mistaken.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's just kind of like anchor this in because first of all, it's a new moon. We're conjunct Polaris. It's the summer solstice. It's an intensification of energy and light. And that's in the northern hemisphere. And in the southern hemisphere, it's about an intensification of finding that light in the greatest darkness. So everybody close their eyes for a minute. And we're just going to kind of embrace what we're talking about so we can take this thought form and kind of activate our body so that we can remember it. And when we were in the deepest part of where we're going and not wanting to go, we can maybe bring ourselves back to our center and our truth. So everybody close their eyes and notice that you are looking out from behind your closed eyes. That is you. That is what animates your biosuit. You can feel your biosuit all around you, and you're looking out from behind your closed eyes. You can see the light of who you are within yourself if you're open to it. It's not all that dark, actually. Now, above your head is this beautiful golden sun. It's called your Viracocha. This sun is your eighth chakra, if you want to call it a chakra, but it's your energy field of what animates you in all of your lifetimes before and all of your lifetimes ahead of you. It is your spark of life. We all have this spark of life, this golden sun. It's about, you take your hands above your head, it's about that far over your head, but it's this great, golden, vibrant sun that's over your head. And you're going to take that sun and you're going to slowly, slowly bring it around your biosuit to cocoon your body in the light of your own essence. And you're watching all of this from behind your eyes. You're watching your biosuit cocoon in this golden light. You're feeling this animation from within, this presence that is you, experiencing this wonderful journey of life. So now you're going to notice your beating heart, and you can take your eyes from behind your physical eyes slowly, slowly, slowly down to watch your physical beating heart. And if that doesn't work, just feel your physical beating heart. This is your life force that allows this wonderful programmed biosuit to experience everything there is on this 3D Earth plane. Walking, sitting, feeling, watching, observing, eating, sleeping, all of that. So as you are watching your or feeling your physical beating heart, you're going to notice within your heart a beautiful, beautiful light. And if you cannot see it, just feel that there's a vibrant, warm light, a spark that animates your physical heart. This is the light of your soul essence. This is the light of your truth. This is your spark and your hologram of everything that has been and everything that will be, the hologram of all of life. That's too hard to even comprehend, but you are that. And as you feel that spark that's animating your physical heart, the sun within your heart, the life force within your heart, whether you feel it or see it, slowly try to merge with it, that light. If you can see it, see that you're in this golden light. If you can feel it, feel the warmth of this golden light all around you. Like being outside on a wonderful sunny day that's not too hot, not too cold. Within this spark of your divine essence, a truth is going to emerge within you. Whether you know what that truth is going to tell you right away or what you feel about that truth is going to be cultivated over the next few months. And this truth that is going to be cultivated is going to be filled with bringing in living, loving, light, compassionate energy. And within this is also a little mechanism that will activate an inner knowing. You may not know what that inner knowing is in this minute, but this inner knowing is going to expand and grow and become a part of you. It's going to imbue every single part of your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies, and your galactic bodies going on behind time, space. This special seed that is germinating within your heart may already be growing a little bit. It may be budding already, or it may be just a little seed ready to grow. But this seed has the essence of your own truth, the truth of what you are becoming, and the truth of what you will be creating, and the truth of your living energy that will be expanding beyond all of your comprehension. In fact, if you dial into what you're feeling right now, you can feel the expansiveness within yourself right now. You can feel this light and see this light within you. And you can feel the wonderful anticipation of experiencing and creating a part of you that you have never, ever met before. It's a new extension. It's something that you will be expanding on and creating to give you a greater sense of being, a greater sense of knowing that this is what you came to experience in the body of humanity. And know that even if you're the only one that experiences this, just know that your radiance, by experiencing this truth and imbued in every cell of your body, you will radiate this to all those that you come in contact with. It will emanate from the way you view the world. It will emanate from the way you express your heart's desire. It will emanate from the way you create around you. Whether it's relationships, a garden, or any other creative parts of your life that you are expanding on. This is what you came to do. And now is the time to plant that seed and nurture it and let it grow. Because the time is ripe for that seed of truth to even expand, even if it's already germinated. So you do not have to know what it is. You may have an inkling, but just know that it is happening. And there's no way that you can even stop the process from going in the opposite direction. It's already going forward. It's already in motion. And within time, within a year's time, you will know and look back on your life and know the moment of this conception, this seed that has been planted, this expansion of light, love, and compassion that you will be radiating to all those around you, but most of all, to yourself. Because when you feel this within yourself, you are reflecting it to all those around you, because everyone around you is you and you are them. And they are you. So experience this gift of intuition, experience this gift of self-love, and anything that is in the way of this will slowly and gradually and gently emerge so that you may look at it and decide if it's something that you want within yourself or you can thank and say goodbye to. So thank yourself for going on this wonderful mission, this wonderful adventure, because it's going to be a grand, grand journey. So be it. Yahweh Shalom. So even though you are in your heart and you're feeling or seeing this spark, let it radiate through every cell, system, atom, and organ, every part of your body, and slowly, slowly, slowly bring your attention up behind your closed eyes. And feel yourself sitting in your chair, and feel yourself partaking in this class tonight, and knowing that you will be going forth in a direction that you cannot even anticipate, but it's going to be a glorious, glorious journey. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So just like Gina so greatly described with all the dimensions, stuff coming in, stargates coming in, the energy from Polaris coming in, being able to go in things and out of things, and embracing your soul. That's what we're going to be doing. And just know, if you can put some kind of plan together to really consciously trust that intuitive part of yourself, the time is right to plant this garden right now. It really is. You have from now until, it started in March actually, and you have all the way until you'll start seeing what's been growing is like probably February, March of next year. And just I guess it's facing the fear, but overcoming that part of you that is afraid of what other people may think. I'm not sure what that is. I mean, we often have that, but oftentimes when you express your truth, people will say, oh my God, I was thinking that exact same thing. You'll find out that you're not alone. And
Ray Allen, it's
yes.
Lee. Can I just add in?
Yes.
Ray Allen, it's that whole part at the beginning of that was just so true for me. I just sat here going, yes, 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 like feeling the truth of every part of that whole first 3/4 of an hour. It was so spot on for me. I just feel personally like I have just emptied out, and it's probably, like I keep saying, I'm at the lowest tide, but I think now with the solstice, for me, we're here in the depth of the winter. It's almost like I'm just at the end of my breath and I'm about to breathe in, and then the new moon, and then all of this other stuff going. It was just so much. I'm really quite emotional about it. Just so resonant. So I want to thank you, and also thank you for your meditations. You seem to just wing it and nail them, and it was so beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And I had an image with Gina's skiing thing. I used to go with some friends and they do barefoot skiing on a clear lake at dawn when it was just still water, and they do it barefoot. And they used to carve the pattern. And as Gina was speaking, all I could see was this beautiful image where we're behind a boat and we're creating these beautiful ripples as we, navigate on our string of, attached to the boat. It was just such a beautiful image of what we can create now. What wave patterns do we want to put out there? And it was just so peaceful and beautiful and sweet. So yeah, thanks, Ray Allen. It was beautiful.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Lee. Yes, it's a very exciting time. Astrology is all about energy fields, and it's about taking advantage, of what is being presented. And that's what we're doing right now. And we're being presented with, because of the times right now, I know that personally, I've been waiting from this time since I've been a young child. I knew that something the dawning of something was going to happen in my lifetime, you know, and I'm in the winter of my life right now, you know, so I just wish I could, you know, I mean, I love my life and I love where I'm at, and I'm, you know, like everything I've gone through to get here but you know, it's just like, I can't, I've often said this, and I will say this again. I can't wait 500 years from now when I come back and whatever we did, I'll say, oh, we did that back then, you know? So we are those people that we have been waiting for. And that's all I can say. And it's, I'm not trying to be Pollyanna, but I know we are going through a golden beginning. And I know that beyond, so I'm putting myself out there, and you know, of just saying that, but I just know that, and people often think I'm too positive or something like that, but no, I just know it. I know it. I know it. I know it. And I'm so, so grateful that I'm with each and every one of you, because I know that us being a reflection of each other, we are helping each other, and we're here, and we're just kind of amplify, you know, we're just kind of like, oh, what a word again. Sometimes I lose words. It's, what's the word? It's just saying it's really happening. That's all I can say, because we're all here. And otherwise we wouldn't be here. That's all I can say.
I totally agree, Rael, and I had that feeling just last week driving along in the car, and I thought, do you know what? I know I'm here for a reasonable amount of time longer, but I could quite happily leave this form because it's here. What we've been doing, it's here. I've witnessed it,
It
and I know
is, it
like,
is.
when I say that, I just want to cry because I know it is here. It's now, and I'm like, gosh, we made it. You know, and it sounds Pollyanna, but it's not, because you feel it.
It is. We can feel it. And all of us had that impulse to change. We want to be different. We want to, it's that love and compassion. And, you know, yes, we look around us and we look at the world around us, but I often say the matrix is falling down. That's why it looks so bad right now, because everything is coming down. It has to come down before it can start growing up. So I wish you, if there's any more questions,
No, I just want to say the last few days, I saw, you know, I've emotionally, you know, was down a lot, but the last few days I've just been so happy, and I can't even explain why. I just feel really happy. And so there's something that's changed in me too, you know, and so I feel that too. Thank you.
well, we have to amplify that. If that's happening, we have to water it. You know, we have to water that. You know, get that little watering can out and bring consciousness. Even if you drink the water, you know, bless the water and drink it, and then you can radiate it, whatever you're putting in your body, because you're 70% water, and that water that you bless, that you put in, comes out. It's your loving energy. So, well, thank you, everyone. And looking forward to
Felicia
seeing.
wants to say something. You'll have to jump in, Felicia.
Okay. I can't see everybody.
That's okay.
There's-
I wanted to say that I'm amazed by how many things that are really easy. Like if I was ever expecting stuff to be hard, like at a meeting or with a doctor or arranging care for my son with disabilities. Like the way things are working out, I never would have done it that way. I mean, I'm getting help, a lot of help, right? And I'm going, oh, that's really fascinating. Isn't that great how this was working out? I would never have done it that way. This is beautiful.
It is. And it's going to get better. It's going to get better. And, you know, it doesn't say that you know, everything around us is not going to be all fluffy and wonderful, but it's the way we perceive it, you know. We'll just, if it's just our attitude. We have to just shift it a little bit and perceive it as knowing that something, you know, there's a cycle with everything. You have birth, then you grow, then you harvest, and then you die. It's a cycle. So we're watching this cycle happen, but we're actually in a cycle of death and manifestation at the same time. So
Mhm.
things are dying around us, and also we're on the verge of manifesting something new. So we're in that cycle of alchemy, changing everything.
Mhm.
Ray Ellen, before you leave at the very end, can I just have a one-on-one quick moment with you before you log out? It's Dina.
Oh, before who? Oh, Gina,
Gina.
what would you like?
Just before you finish up and you jump offline, can I just have a quick question with you?
Oh, yeah, you mean one-to-one?
Yes, just briefly.
Okay, I guess everybody has to leave first.
Yeah, no, I don't mean that you have to go, but I'm just saying before you log
Okay.
out.
Okay, I was just about to log out, but yes, I can wait. If anybody has anything to say, we'll see you next month. We have foundations coming up in let me see, 2 weeks. That's coming up July 2nd. And then we have grid work is coming up on the 30th. I know that that's open to everyone. That's the 30th at 10 o'clock Mountain Time. And that's where we work on different vortexes all over the planet. And we're healing the planet that we're on right now. And then we have, let me see, next month I have a breathing class on the 10th, and then with planetary encomiums on the 17th again. So we have stuff coming up. Just go to Light Body Academy and, you know, sign up for these things. Okay.
Thank you, Ryan.
Blessings and blessings
Great.
always. Thank you.
Thank
you,
you,
Ellen.
Ellen. Thank you all.
Thank you. It's been great. Thank you.
Okay. Edna's still here.
That's
Bye,
cool.
Edna.
See you, beautiful.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, just very briefly, Ray Ellen, I've not done this before, but I actually came halfway out of the meditation, and I always stay in yours for ages because they're fantastic. The only thing I noticed was when you replay this, do you have access to watch the participants when you have access to watch this?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
You want me to do that?
I'm just recommending, and I'm leaving it with you. Can you check and watch Destine's Fields and what's going on for her?
Okay.
And then I'm going to leave it with you. I was observing, and I'm like, yeah, I'll leave it with you, and whether or not Christine needs, you know, not going into the savior thing, but I just want to leave it with you to observe, and you'll know whether there's anything that needs to be supported for her.
Oh, she seems like she's going through something.
Yes, but energetically, when I was watching, and physically what was going on, there's something happening, and I'm just going to leave it with you, and you can choose to share it with Christina because you're over there.
Okay.
If it's appropriate.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got the feeling to just hold some love gauze there, and I'm like, I don't really know why I'm doing it, so I just sat there. So.
Okay. All right.
And yeah.
Destine Reed, right?
Yeah,
Destine.
yeah. So
Okay.
it comes in just as you're doing your meditation. You've got your eyes closed. Pretty much everyone had their eyes closed, and I was off camera. And then I went, oh, I need to look.
That's when you noticed.
Yes.
Well,
And
maybe
you'll
there's a
know.
reason.
I feel so. There's something going on. And as you know, the group's always reflective of all our energies, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, beautiful.
All right. Thank you. Have a wonderful solstice. Okay.
I will. I'm gonna go and sit in the sun now.
Bye. Thank you, Gina. Love you.
Love you too. Thanks for your magic.
Bye-bye.